How to do lavender plant care indoor. Lavender belongs to the flowering herbs and it has a number of uses like in the kitchen, in medicines and others in the form of herb and as lavender oil. It is such an amazing plant which tolerates the drought as well. The flowers of lavender plants are full of fragrance and your garden becomes the attraction point because of the beauty of lavender plants. People grow lavender plant indoor but lavender plant care is very important, otherwise the plant will be destroyed by pests and other unfavorable conditions. 1. Soil preparation. Lavender plant grows well in a neutral to alkaline soil that is well drained. There are different varieties of lavender plant. Some varieties are grown in acidic soil, for others it has to be less acidic. When you have grown rhododendrons in your garden, then it means that the soil needs lime so that its pH is raised. The pH of the soil should range 6.7 to 7.3. Usually builder's sand is added to the soil in order to increase the drainage. If the soil of your garden is heavy, then organic matter can work for it. The wet soil is the real reason behind the destruction this plant. For good drainage you should mix some sand or gravel with soil. The reason is that lavender plants cannot tolerate the surplus moisture in soil. If the lavender plants are planted in raised beds, then the drainage is also improved in this way. To make it harder for winder, sprinkle some fertilizer rich in phosphorus to the plants. 2. Climatic conditions. When the climate conditions and temperature is maintained, then the lavender plants lasts for the years to come. The perfect conditions for the lavender plants are warm sun and dry land. If you are a beginner to gardening, then don't be worried when the plants don't bloom. It can be because of overwatering of lavender plants. Double check the place, maybe it's too much shady with higher levels of humidity. The English lavender's variety is for cold climates. For that you have to cover the area for winter protection of the lavender plants. The variety of French and Spanish lavenders is grown well in hot and humid climates. Make sure that there is proper air circulation because the plants of this variety can tolerate more amount of moisture. If in your region the winter is terrible, then it is suggested to grow lavender in containers. Direct sunlight of at least 8 hours is needed to them. Make sure you place them indoors in a sunny window so that their growth is not disturbed. 3. Plantation. Once the soil is ready, the next step is the plantation of lavender. Select a hot and sunny area for lavender plantation. The drainage has to be good for the healthy growth of plants. When you are to transport the lavender plant, then dig a hole so that the root system of lavender plant gets its proper space. When you want that your lavender plants are stronger, then you have to cut the flowers so that during the warm season full blooming is expected. If the plants are planted in pots, then you have to loosen the soil and pound it from its pot or container. It also happens that the plants do not flower well in one season, but the plants become healthy for the next years. 4. Watering. Watering is very part of plant care, but in case of lavender plant you have to note that the plant is properly hydrated. Once you have planted the lavender in your garden, then you must water deeply once to twice a week. This should the watering routine for 2 years. Overwatering should be avoided because roots will die in this way. If your lavender plants are planted in pots, then you need to water them frequently. If you have lavender plants grown on a large scale, then long soak is necessary because short watering routine will make the plant roots unhealthy and weak. 5. Pruning. Lavender plant pruning is done so that the plants are flourished completely. It gives the plant more space to grow. The bushes of lavender plants should be pruned at least once in 1 year as the main step in lavender plant care. The early springtime is ideal for pruning. At the time of harvest also the pruning of plants is done. New growth is enables after pruning, and also it prevents the plants from becoming woody. Pruning shears are used for pruning the plants. 1/3 of the plant is pruned initially. When you overprune the plants, then new growth of plants gets prevented. When plant becomes woody, then oldest branches should be cut, otherwise you have to dig the plant and replace it. 6. Harvesting. The final step with the lavender plantation is harvesting lavender plants. You will come to know about the harvesting time when the flowers at the bottom of the plants on every stem have started to open up. It is the high time in terms of its scent and color of lavender plant. Gather the lavender to form a bunch and then cut them. The plants are cut near their foliage at the stem's base. After cutting, they should be bundled together. The dead matter should be removed completely. They are to be dried in a shady and cool place. The pH of the soil should range 6.7 to 7.3. Usually bilderous sand is added to the soil in order to increase the drainage. The reason is that lavender plants cannot tolerate the surplus moisture in soil. If the lavender plants are planted in raised beds, then the drainage is also improved in this way. To make it harder for winder, sprinkle some fertilizer rich in phosphorus to the plants. Thanks for watching.